Good morning, Year 6, and welcome to Maths Lesson 2 of Percentages. Your learning objective for today is to be able to calculate percentages of a quantity. That means percentages of an amount, a number. So, looking at our in focus for Lesson 2, there are some ingredients for lemonade. Now, you need 6 cups, 1.35 litres of cold water, 2 cups, which is 450 millilitres of lemon syrup, and a pinch of salt. Now she mixes the cold water and lemon syrup. Out of 100, how many parts of the mixture is lemon syrup? So the first thing that we need to notice is that this cold water is in litres, whereas the lemon syrup is in millilitres. Now we need to know that there are 1,000, apologies for this, 1,000 millilitres in 1 litre. Have a go at working this out, either in an exercise book, you could always screenshot it and upload it, and we will pause the lesson and then we will go through it on the next slide. So you should have had a go at working out the in focus task. So here are some ways to look at it. So we know that 2 litres is 2,000 millilitres. Now it already said in the question that it was 25 out of 100, so we know that it's 25%. We know that there are 4 lots of 25%, as shown here in this bar model. So that means that the full 2 litres is 100%, okay? We want just a quarter of that, or 25%. So we need to divide it by 4. Remember, 25% is the same as 1/4. So if you divide 2,000 millilitres divided by 4 is the same as saying 2 litres divided by 4. And so your answer would be 500 millilitres. Okay? You could alternatively use method 3, my class, where you look at 25% of 2 litres is the same as 25 out of 100 times 2,000, which is the same as a quarter, if you were to cancel it, simplify it, times 2,000, which is the same as 500 millilitres. So have a go at your guided practice. Okay, he is saving for a holiday and his savings can be represented by this bar. Now this bar is 100%, always remember that. So you need to shade to show 50%, 20%, 25% and 80%. If you are struggling, try and remember what your fraction of each would be. So for example, 50% is the equivalent to 1/2. Okay, so how would you show a half on that bar? Have a go. The answers are later on in the slide, but I'm trusting you not to cheat, Year 6. Question 2 of your guided practice is asking you to calculate the discounted price. Okay, now this may require more than one step, okay, because you need to find 10% of each amount. Again, give it a go, and the answers are later on in the slideshow. If there are any problems, upload a photo of your work or your work onto the files page of the Teams like you have been doing, and I will message you. Okay, well done. Once you've completed your guided practice, you should check your answers, which are on the last slide, so you may be able to fast forward to check that you have got your guided practice correct. Then we are moving on to the workbook. These pages can all be accessed in your maths folder, and it's called Percentages Lesson 2 Online Learning. So you need to find the percentage of the quantities. Okay, so 1A, out of 100, how many parts of the mixture is orange cordial? Okay, so 5 units equals how many parts? 1 unit equals something divided by 5, which is the same as saying something out of 100 of the mixture is orange cordial. Okay. When we move on to question 2, we're looking again that the full bar, remember, represents 100% of Mr. Smith's monthly salary. So Mr. Smith spends 40% of his monthly salary on rent shade to show this. So again, if you are struggling, think about the equivalent fraction for your 40%. Okay? And try and use that knowledge to answer the question below. Now, if you are my class, Miss Petterson's maths class, look on the next slides for some extra challenges. So, just some stuff to get you warmed up here. See if you can answer those questions in sentences. Maybe you could use some maths evidence for me. So we could maybe do an example of finding 50% and do an example of dividing by 2 and see if we get the same answer. How do you calculate 10% of a number? What's the same and what's different about 10% of 300 and 10% of 30? Could you show me? Could you solve that problem and show me year 6? And then we've got just a little bit of fluency to try and help you remember that percentages, fractions and decimals are all linked. Okay? And some practice at the bottom. And then we have our challenges. So make sure you're explaining whether you agree or disagree and why. You might need to use sentences and then show me using maths, using your numbers. Okay. Eva says to find 1% of a number, you divide by 100. Whitney says to find 1% of a number, you divide by 10 and then by 10 again. Who do you agree with? Explain your answer. The easiest way to explain your answer, year 6, would be to do what Whitney says with a number, to do what Eva says with the same number, and then decide whether you agree or disagree based on your answer or who you agree with. And then this challenge, complete the missing numbers. 50% of 40, remember equals is the same as what percent of 80? So I would work out 50% of 40 and find my answer, okay, and then see what percentage of 80 would give me that same answer. You need to do the same method for each of those 3 questions. I look forward to seeing your work uploaded on Teams. Well done, year 6. Here are your answers for your guided practice, okay? Some of you may have drawn boxes in your bars to help you be a bit more accurate. That's absolutely fine. Again, you needed 2 steps, so you needed to find £4, which was 10%, and then you needed to subtract that over the overall amount, year 6. So there was 2 steps in that problem.